Coach Mox across the way for UVA, hoping to smoothening out those bumps. A lot of inconsistency for UVA this season. It's been a little bit topsy-turvy, but they've shown some flashes. We're underway. FSU with the ball, immediately searching for offense with Latson. They try to score in the first 7 seconds of the shot clock, and they get it with 11 seconds gone by here.
Hey, 7-11, either way will work. This Florida State squad, they're coming out of the jump ball, aggressive, looking to score right away.
Starting lineups on the bottom of your screen. We'll start with the Cavaliers. They've used this lineup now in 2 consecutive games. Kamora Johnson really spearheads this team. She's been a little ill recently, so hopefully she's okay tonight. As Brianna Hurd, the freshman, is bumped, and will stay right here.
Yeah, you see more size here with Virginia's starting 5. They have Latasha Lattimore, Noyan, and Hurd down there. It's really going to matter against a super athletic Florida State team that is a great rebounding team and a great defensive team.
We'll see the SOS defense from FSU. We'll talk about that a lot tonight. High pressure defense from FSU, which really fuels their offense. Johnson lasers it down low, and the layup doesn't go for Noyan, who had a pretty solid game against Syracuse with 10. FSU basketball and their starters on the bottom of your screen. We talk about Latson a whole bunch, but Amaria Gordon has tremendous speed and is second in the country in assist-to-turnover ratio.
Yeah, she's been extremely helpful, taking the load off of that guard position for Latson, for her to just be able to get freed up on the wings, but also on the inside. You have to talk about Timpson down low. She's a great shot blocker, one of the top in the ACC. See Latson up top, going inside for Timpson. Find her in the paint a lot.
And FSU is up 6-0, and we haven't even played a minute 20.
Pace, 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 pace. This team is a team that strives to get as many offensive possessions as they can. It starts on the defensive end with this ball pressure.
Paris Clark with a bid at a basket. Doesn't go, and FSU can't save it from going out of bounds. Malaya Williams trying to tightrope the baseline. Our score is 6-0. We're just waiting on the update of the score from the in-house feed. Latasha Lattimore, our impact player off the top, rejected inside. Timpson, #1 in the league. That's blocked 68 on the season. Quickly up ahead. Latson hits the underside of the backboard.
She's just so good at that position. She's 6'2", right? And so she has this length and this height, but it's her timing, her ability to not rack up fouls. She's averaging 3 blocks per game, and that is something that this team counts on defense, is her to be in there protecting the rim.
Wide open shooter. It's Sydney Bowles. The transfer from A&M doesn't go, and the Cavaliers trying to play with some pace themselves. Here's Brianna Hurd, downhill, waits, a whistle, and a foul, and Gordon in disbelief.
Well, good job there for the freshman to attack it north and south. When you're going east to west, you allow this defense to be pretty comfortable because they're switching. They're going to switch on those handoffs, but she's attacking the basket and got a little bit of body there from Gordon.
So OMG has a couple of fouls already for FSU. She's out of the game, and here's the sub, Amaya Bonner, rising and scoring.
Amaya Bonner is someone you want to keep your eye on. She racks up some sneaky points, but it's because of her defense. Where Virginia has had to really lock in these timeouts. When we talk to Coach Mox, as you know, what is it about these timeouts that have allowed your team to, one, get a better focus? And she said, reminding them that it's about executing well for 40 minutes, and that is what she hopes to see from her team out of timeouts, is to refocus on their game and their strategy with an urgency.
And give them credit against Syracuse on Sunday, right? They're down by 14 points with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. She takes her second timeout in that third quarter, gets the response, they end up winning the game.
Yeah.
This time they throw it away out of the timeout. Well, it is so dangerous to give the ball away to Florida State because you're talking about the #1 team in the country in scoring at 92.5 points per game. They've hit 100 6 times this season.
They are going to get it, and they're going to go. They're not looking to pass. They're not looking for an open shot. They're looking for the most efficient shot in the paint.
I mean, at this rate, Lauren, they may take 100 shots tonight. I don't know how many they're going to make, but 9 shots in the game so far.
But this is what Florida State likes to do. They want to pick it up. They want the pace to be high. They want to control the pace, and that's what they've been able to do so far in this first quarter.
That is turnover number 5 for UVA. And keep in mind, Florida State wins the turnover margin by about 8 per game. That's first in the ACC.
Yeah, their goal here is to turn teams over as much as possible and then to take care of the ball as much as possible. Why? Because they have one-on-one players. They have players who are going to score. Look at the difference here. 7.9. That's the difference between what Florida State, how many turnovers Florida State ends games with versus how many turnovers their opponents.
It's been so fascinating to watch from FSU this season. They're #1 in the nation as well in turnover percentage, meaning they turn the ball over fewer than anybody regarding amounts of possessions in the game. Here's Latson weaving in on a kick. They're looking for threes. They get one from Bowles. Ring it up. It's 11-0 for the Garnet and Gold.
And Sydney Bowles is not a player you want to get hot. She, in their last game against Wake Forest, she made 3 or 5 3-pointers, and she likes to get them in transition when no one is really looking for her. Everyone's looking to find Latson.
Yeah, Bowles had a season high of 20 against the Demon Deacons. Here's Olivia McGee, and she finally gives the Cavs their first points of the game, about 4.5 in.
That's what Virginia's going to need to answer back. They're going to need to get some stops here on this end, but they're going to have to answer whenever Florida State does make a bucket.
Latson slices in, finds 2. And this crowd is just quiet right now in disbelief of what FSU can do offensively. I mean, it can really make jaw drops. What can happen here with FSU? There's Kamara Johnson. All right, the Cavaliers have made their last 2 shots.
Great bucket for the sophomore guard. We know that she has been not feeling the best as of recent with different illnesses, but she's been able to come out here and try to get her team back in this game in the first.
Cavs in transition, Latsamore. She missed the bunny, and she's really frustrated with herself. Here's Bowles dishing. Latson back to Bowles. Why not for Sydney? Off target that time, and Noyant brings down the rebound and involved in a crash there with Malaya Williams.
Something about both of these teams is they like to run in transition. They like to get it north and south. But the thing about Florida State is that is what they're looking to do every single time down the court. While Virginia likes to get it in transition, they really rely on Latson. They really rely on their guards to take advantage of mishaps on defense, right? Virginia not getting over that ball screen, not sitting up on any handoffs, allows a wide open lane for Florida State guards, which we have seen so far.
It seems like 2 outcomes for FSU, threes or layups. That's about it.
Yeah, both of these teams, or Virginia, I should say, their defensive strategy right now has not been to keep anyone out of the lane.
10-2 the advantage in points in the paint for FSU. They move in transition. They don't have it initially. Now Gordon gives. Oh, look at this quick ball movement. Get it inside. Timpson the double. Move it around. 3 is up and in. Amaya Bonner.
A 3 for Bonner, and that came from defense sucking in on Timpson, because in the paint, you don't want her to go one-on-one. Virginia's really good at jamming post players on the block.
Paris Clark with a response for UVA. He's had some nice games recently. Had a career-high 7 assists a couple of games ago against Miami. And also tied her career-high 19 against Louisville a few games back. Cavs need that tertiary score. We know about Lattimore, we know about Johnson, but that third score is so necessary, especially against a team that has 18 points in not even 7 minutes.
Yeah, Florida State top 3 players can all just about average 20 points, right? Gordon, she's averaging 15.9, but Timpson, Latson, Gordon, solid scores for this FSU team.
Kamora Johnson lines it up. Can't hit. Rebound off the hop. Carla Villegas, a substitute, having trouble with it. And it's Noyon who whips it towards Johnson. Kamora jabs at 35 against FSU last season, and she's going to the line right now.
The Seminole squad taking on the Virginia zone, getting it inside, then kicking it out, and playing a little bit of a hot potato here, trying to figure out who can get the best open shot, and Bonner was able to knock it down, just running this Virginia zone all over the place before they're able to get a good shot.
Well, you hear coaches say it all the time. Best possessions are when the ball doesn't hit the floor. I didn't see the ball hit the floor all that often on that possession.
Good point, yeah, good point.
Here's Kamora Johnson at the line for the Cavs. UVA is a team 73%. That's 10th in the ACC. Johnson, one of the best in the conference at 87%. Played a 40-minute game against Syracuse on Sunday. 17 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 steals. Her 5th career game of at least 40 minutes. OMG, Gordon back in the game with 2 fouls. 3 in the garnet in gold, and another 3 for FSU. It's Villegas, who is a sharpshooter.
She's letting it fly, shoots 38% from deep, and we talked to Coach Wyckoff about her, and she said she's going to shoot it. She doesn't care who's on her, and sometimes she's better at shooting it when she has a hand in her face.
Which is such an incredible thing to say. And I think she's right. Watching Villegas in warm-up, she missed some open shots. Latson disrupted inside the finish. Avery Treadwell. It is a clinic for FSU.
If you're Virginia, this is the time to get quality looks at the bucket, trying not to allow this defense to speed you up.
Clarkson, that shot just rims out. It'll stay with UVA.
Quality shot there for Clark, going to the bucket, not able to knock it down, but here, just seeing them take advantage of that baseline, and then not a wide open shot, a contested shot that she did not care. She was gonna let it fly.
She spent so much time throughout her life with her dad growing up in Spain, mastering that shot from above the head. It has the perfect trajectory, and that's really tough to stop.
Yeah, some people try to change shots that look like that, but she's been able to make it work for her.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't change that shot. And I think Brooke Wyckoff agreed with us when we spoke to her yesterday. They don't take credit for that shot. They're just like, yeah, she's really good at it. And so is OMG in a flash.
Gordon, 2 fouls early, but she's remaining aggressive.
Olivia McGee, she's also aggressive with her shot. Mainly a 3-point shooter, tries the 2 that time. And Brianna Turnage brings down the rebound, the junior from Atlanta. Latson the shimmy, down the slot, and earns 2 shots. This is just overwhelming right now, Lauren.
Yeah, the ability that FSU has to, it's instinctive. When they come across half court, they're looking to score. Have you noticed, right? They have 7 assists, right? And partially that is to Virginia switching up their defenses. But when we talked to Coach Wyckoff, she said, I don't teach my players to catch the ball to pass. I teach them when they catch the ball to look to score. And she's instilled that into them. She says it takes a lot of coaching every single day in practice, reminding them every single day in games. But it's instinctive that when they come across half court, they're not getting in position. They're already in position.
Well, it's instinctive, Lauren, because they talk about this all the time. They are trying to eliminate decision-making, where as most coaches are giving you a plethora of options, and it's not like they're eliminating freedom, right? I'm not trying to say that, but it's a couple of different outcomes. Make the choice and go. It's a 3, it's a layup, drive, kick. That's pretty much it. And it's worked.
I think what's important here is that she knows her team. She says, the system works for my team, right? She said that there are a lot of options. There are a lot of different things you can do, but it's working. 100+ points, a regular thing for this squad this season. Like, that's something that doesn't just come by chance.
Yeah, they get 90 13 times this season. Latimore dashing in, can't score. Noyon not looking at the basket. May have had an opportunity to score 2 there. Out to McGee, who has 3 already. Doesn't have a second one there. Brianna Hurd flags it down. Game clock and shot clock separated by about 10. Clark denied inside. Sydney Bowles with the rip away.
Such a good job keeping her feet in front of the defender. No matter how aggressive she got, she was able to just backpedal herself and stay between her man and the ball.
I haven't seen offense this slow all day long. Latson pull up over McGee, too strong. Offensive rebound, Treadwell. Stick back doesn't go. And the end of one here from John Paul Jones Arena as Florida State
to go north and south.
And that has been the simple approach that's worked all season long en route to 92.5 points per game. Tops in the nation. Lattimore underneath. Her layup goes after starting the game 0 for 4.
Beautiful bucket there, reading the defense, finishing on the other side. Lattimore can get shifty around that basket.
Coming off a career high 26 against Syracuse inside the JMA Wireless Dome. Underneath, reverse layup, no, but a foul. And KK Timpson heads to the line.
Another thing about this Florida State team, as they are aggressive on offense, they get to that free throw line. Very good free throw shooters. Something to point out here so far in this game is Florida State's 0 turnovers still against a defense that has switched up its looks a few times.
We're looking ahead to next Wednesday's ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader featuring #2 Duke. It starts with Stanford and Georgia Tech at 7 Eastern, and then Cooper Flag and the Blue Devils host Andre Stojakovic and Cal at Cameron Indoors. Duke riding a 16-game win streak right now after they destroyed Syracuse by 29 on Saturday. Yeah, going back to your point about the free throw shooting, FSU 80% this season. 5th in the nation. So you can't put them at the line. It's hard to defend them in transition. It's like, what do you do? Get it down low. Timpson the easy deuce.
Inside, high, low for Timpson. She's just been having herself easy fest in the paint. 4 points so far, 6 points so far.
Hurd tries the baseline, dips the shoulders and lays it in. Nice move from Brianna Hurd, the freshman.
Great move. Definitely going to need Hurd to get going here. Her availability there to drive and also to even shoot that if her defender lays off.
FSU finally commits a turnover. The Noles first. UVA with 7. McGee, cross-court snap. Lattimore on the step back. Now she bolts in, stops and dishes. Noyan from the elbow. Good.
Good look there. You get cut off on that baseline. And for your post partner to come across the free throw line, wide open shot. It's great movement between the bigs. FSU, what are they going to do? Get to the paint. She draws the attention. She finds her sister down low. And Timpson gets an easy high-low look.
Those two just have fantastic chemistry.
Yeah.
And we talked about this with Coach Wyckoff, the pride that she has in a lot of her veterans being mainstays with this FSU program and really not hitting the transfer portal.
Yeah, she talks about the culture. She said she had a good example and she wants to sustain that. She wants to keep that going by making them feel like this is home and that you know, she's putting them in positions to succeed. And we talk about the systems that they have in place, and that's the purpose.
And the system is capitalizing. Mariana Valenzuela off the bench, a 35% three-point shooter.
Less than 3 minutes in this game, and she already has 3 points.
Hurd to Casey Valente Paya, her third different school. Lattimore inside, and all that chaos results in FSU basketball.
Something about Virginia's offense, when they are moving the ball like that and they're being decisive about what they are looking for on offense. We saw it against Syracuse early in the first quarter, and then we saw it again late in the fourth quarter. They are able to get the shots they're looking for, and they're efficient in shooting them, right? They don't look scattered, and so that's a good possession. Didn't end how they wanted it to, but that is what they're looking for.
And now Lattimore is bumped. And our officiating crew of Maj Forsberg, Timothy Bryan, and John Capolino making sure that everybody is in check right now. Tania Latson, as always, very aggressive with her shot. Already 8 on the game. It's interesting, coming in the last 2 games, Latson only, and Lauren, I'm going to put only in quotation marks here, 16 for 42 from the field.
Only, oh my goodness.
Just 38%. I'm just saying, she's shooting a career high 48%.
Yeah, totally. But it's a huge volume. And she willingly accepts that responsibility on this team. She shows up every day in practice, Coach talked about, knowing what her team expects from her.
Gordon is always racing up the floor. Bonner, who had a tremendous first quarter, stays hot. She's got 10. Coach Mox only has 2 timeouts left.
Each Seminole input what FSU likes to do. They're going to disrupt. They're going to make your lives really hard on offensive end.
It's really amazing because you watch all those clips, Lauren, and like there's no space between the player with the ball and the defender. It's so tight.
Yeah, and that's what we call SOS defense, right? What Coach Wyckoff talked about it, something that they instilled over the summer, and that was to make their opponents feel like they had to rush on offense, feel like they couldn't run their sets, and that's what we've seen. Virginia guards have had no space to get into their sets.
And Amaria Gordon can create space with the best of them with her blazing speed.
Yeah, her first step is dangerous. And then her ability to slow it up and speed right by you, whole nother level.
Lattimore through a lot of congestion underneath, and Amaya Bonner may have been hit on the nose, and that might be the only thing that stops Bonner tonight because she has 10 points and has made all 4 of her shots.
Told you she was a sneaky one. She can rack up some points, but she's a fighter. Oh. She's trying to go for the block, but gets caught there.
FSU 52% to begin the game. 5 for 10 from beyond the arc. Latson on the kick, and it's split 2. Oopsie. A rare turnover for FSU, just the 2nd for the Noles. FSU comes in committing just 10.5 turnovers per game, 4th in the country. Brianna Hurd has a notion, now slips inside, rejection, but a foul.
Good take there for the freshman. I think the biggest thing for Virginia here offensively, right? They're going up against a very aggressive defense, as we talked about so far in this game. When they get into the lane, it's about pump fakes. It's about pass fakes, right? When they're committing these turnovers, they have to make the defense play them a little bit more honestly than they have, because we know Timpson, she can block a shot, right? And it came up with a foul this time, but just being able to mix up what they want to do offensively.
3rd of the country in blocks, Timpson. We have women's basketball for you every Sunday right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Here's this week's doubleheader. The Commonwealth clash between Virginia Tech and Virginia starts us off at noon Eastern. Then Hannah Hidalgo, Olivia Miles, and number 3 Notre Dame host the number 21 Cal Bear. Should be another great afternoon of hoops here on ACC Network. And both post players now getting called for fouls, going for blocks. Lattimore.
Can't make this up. Latson just comes down. All the space. Once she gets by her first defender, she's been there before. She can get up in the air, contort her body to do what it wants to do. And she lands herself at the free throw line.
So I'm going to ask you to put on your coaching cap for a moment here. You're facing Tanaya Latson, and I understand the question is very similar to asking you, like, how would you guard Caitlin Clark? But how would you guard Tanaya Latson? What do you do?
Man, you've got to have every single line of defense prepared to defend Tanaya Latson. You know, she's a one-on-one player, but there's not many people in this country who can stop her one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? So having your second line of defense there, your help defense there, right? And your helping the person that's coming over. It has to be all hands on deck.
And both these guards, Latson and Johnson, they've seen all the defenses that you could throw at them this season. Riley Gray's trying to make an impact coming in off the bench, and the transfer from UNC has a deuce.
Good hustle there, the energy, the spark Virginia needs off the bench.
Drive and kick. Gordon, that one squeaks out, and Riley Gray's making plays on both ends of the floor. Really has an infectious personality for this team, and Johnson's like, did I really just do that? And Casey Valente-Paya says, that one's on me, my mistake. FSU creates a lot of possessions on its own, right? But you give them extra possessions, that's a problem. This helps alleviate that. Brianna Hurd, and one!
Tough bucket, remaining in the game, in the possession, and is able to knock it down in transition. Florida State defense tries to come up with a charge, but didn't get there in time. Talk about the hunger here for Virginia's squad in this second quarter.
So that's a play from the FSU perspective, Lauren. When Coach Wyckoff watches that back, she's going to be like, guys, come on, really? Like, get the inbounds play in, please. Tania Latson surveying the scene. 5 assists already. Dumps it off and a foul. That would have been another assist had Timpson made the shot. And players on both sides have been knocked around so far in this game. This time it's Grace.
Riley Gray's UNC transfer averages just about 11 minutes per game, and when she comes in, she does throw that body around, is very aggressive in the rebounding. But here, looks like she might have gotten elbowed right in the face by Timpson.
Nobody told me you had to bring a helmet tonight.
Face guard, mouth guard, you gotta be prepared for war.
Goodness. So Graves gets a breather, much deserved, and Taylor Lauterbach is in. Only played 1 minute in the last game against Syracuse. The 6'7" center. Gordon, the runner, too strong. Brianna Hurd vacuums down the rebound. Past the midway point of Q2, let's find out if the Caps can make a late second quarter run. Johnson takes too many steps, says Timothy Bryant.
Frustrating start here for Johnson, unsure where the travel was, but only 4 points for her tonight. We know that she is able to get hot at any given moment of a game, but so far FSU's strategy to get the ball out of her hands as quickly as possible has worked.
Johnson 7th in the conference in scoring, 4th in assists, right to the basket. Tania Latson. 8 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds in 13 minutes. Takes a lot of pride in her handful of double-doubles this season. Never had one before this year. 10 turnovers for UVA, 10 of them.
That's something that Coach Mox has talked about all throughout this season, of those turnovers just being their enemy, their Achilles heel. We've seen Virginia be able to bounce back, come out of slumps. And there's a lot of time left in this game.
And with the way that Florida State plays, you know, they're not slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah.
Gordon, the pivot, the jumper. Gets the kind roll. Gordon with 6. Has been a starter with this FSU team for a long time. She was the first freshman starting point guard for the Noles back in 21-22 since Courtney Ward in 07-08. Knows exactly what Brooke Wyckoff wants and just delivers for this team. Valente-Paya, the scoop shot, not there.
But great defense there for FSU. Double Kimura off of the ball screen, and then rebounds and takes it the other way.
Bowles, the flashy move on the step back. Johnson pulls it down, has the outlet, seams it through. Brianna Hurd with 2. And a timeout from Brooke Wyckoff.
Great way to take advantage there. Coach Wyckoff not liking that her team is getting beat down the court. But Virginia is able to make a dose of their own medicine here. Coming down, getting a stop on defense and pushing ahead, running ahead of the defense is Brianna Hurd there for an easy lay-in.
Hurd, the leading scorer so far for UVA with 6 on 3 for 6 shooting. And Tania Latson quickly answers and says, enough of that transition ball, we've got it ourselves.
I mean, what can you say about a player who has that mentality, who has that mindset of going to get a bucket, and then on the other end you have a partner down low that has your back And Timpson, one of the best shot blockers in the ACC, timing up. She's in her help position, and she flies over just in time for the block on Kamora Johnson.
Coach Wyckoff said that her shot blocking ability is so paramount to this team because they can pressure on the perimeter knowing they have that shot blocking presence behind them. And then, oh, by the way, she's pretty good at offense too, averaging 17 per game.
Yeah, vital piece to that defense where they're able to pressure and they're able to trust in their post players. You also have to mention Makayla, who's down there as well, not in the game now, but another big girl down there that's able to shot block.
Latson with 10, Bonner with 10. Sydney Bowles, who has fit in like a glove with this offense, and bodies again crashing to the ground, and they call an offensive foul this time. Did you bring the ice bags to JPJ today?
That was an interesting series of events there. It was like pinballs. One person knocked another person down and another person. But Riley Gray still has a smile on her face.
And Brianna Hurd appears to have some blood on her jersey, so we'll get that straightened away. Anthony Crescenzi, the athletic trainer for UVA. Lauren, I feel like these next 2 minutes and 13 seconds are just so integral to UVA. You get this, maybe below 18 or 16 points. You start to create belief in your locker room. And just in the last game for UVA, the Cavs trailed by 14 points in the third quarter and mounted a comeback and beat Syracuse.
Yeah, well, in the second quarter, they've done a lot better in making shots. And early in this game, they were chippies that they were just letting go. But so far, they've been able to shoot 53%. And that should bode well for them going into the second half.
Clark stepping through and laying it in. Paris Clark with 6, joining Brianna Hurd.
Attacking the basket, Virginia here, putting pressure up high.
Latson now, she's hit hard. Cavaliers over the limit here. So Tanaya Latson gets free throws, and Latson is an 82% free throw shooter and is inside the top 10 in the country, to no surprise, in free throw makes. Mariana Valenzuela in, the redshirt junior from Mexico at 6'2". Tonight at 10 Eastern on ACC Network, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every women's game and look ahead at the best matchups on the schedule for the weekend. We've got you covered all season right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. FSU on pace for another 100-point game, would be the Noles' 7th this season. Johnson trying to get by Bonner, but denied. Flips it out to the top of the arc. Clark, there's just no driving lane right now. Valenti Paya tries her luck. Just an errant layup that time. Latson going downhill, stopping and feeding. The three is up from Valenzuela. Too strong. Another strong rebound from Hurd.
FSU starting their offense really deep. Virginia, they're starting out with the defender high in that backcourt, but when they get over half court, it's wide open there.
Johnson, nifty move there to navigate her way in the lane.
Weasels through that defense, that pesky defense. It's like they're sending 2 at Johnson whenever she is within the three-point line.
Valenzuela on a bounce. Timpson swarmed. Valenzuela a 3 off the side of the backboard. Valenti Paya flags it down. Shot clock off. One final offensive possession here for UVA in the opening half. Cavs just 1 for 8 from beyond the arc. That make coming from Olivia McGee. 3 Cavs with 6 points. Johnson, Hurd, and Clark. And here is Johnson. They have size on her with Bonner. Nearly throws it away. Recovered by UVA. Hurd the tray. No. Gray's rebound. Put back. Yes.
Great putback for him. Grays
State is all about, scoring within the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. Our star comparison here, Latson, the 12 points, the 5 assists, the 4 rebounds. Latasha Lattimore, pretty quiet so far.
So far, she has it. She's, there we go. You speak too soon, right? She's able to get one in there, but so far, she's had the pressure. We just saw the clips of Timpson, and when you know you have a shot block on you, your game does change a little.
Timpson with 10 points on 7 shots. Cavaliers, despite being down by double digits, only got outscored by 1 in the second quarter. So it did seem like UVA became more comfortable in this game, Q2 as compared to Q1.
Yeah, definitely just understanding the scheme that they are up against and using what they do well in their favor.
Clark, the reverse layup, very pretty.
Great finish, hangs in the air a bit. Gets some contact, but finishes anyway.
Did you see that quadruple team on Timpson there? Did you see that? And then it leads to a bucket. Are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you give one person too much airtime, and then the other person is able to just go off. Either Latson or Timpson. Timpson here coming up with a steal.
Turnover number 12 for UVA. Latson kicking it out. Bulls down the baseline, beating Hurd. Stops, fades away, can't get the bucket. Hurd can't haul in the rebound. It stays with FSU.
Timpson, just as good as she is on defense offensively, she is corralling the defense to her. 6 hands around her, leaving a wide open Latson to take her time to the bucket. Layup lines for her.
Look, I get it. Timpson's 6'2", she's lanky, but you're talking about Odessa Noyon, who's 6'3", Lattimore, who's 6'4", Hurd, who's 6'2". There are so many bodies around her, and she makes the right play. And it seems like every Seminole player knows exactly what they want to do, and they execute.
Yeah, Timpson also been a part of this program for a while, senior now, right? So she's not only a great player and individual, but she's become a leader. She leads by example, and something that she's been able to show to Latson, who's just a junior.
And she's moved into 7th place in FSU career scoring tonight. Noyon an offensive rebound. Cavaliers were good in that category in the first half. Now with 11, Noyon misses the bunny.
Yes, definitely looking at that film back, and you want that one back. But this is something we saw in the first quarter for Virginia, getting those chippies, missing those chippies there. Definitely come back to bite you, but for Virginia, they have another opportunity, another possession to take advantage.
So down by 22 here, Lauren. What's the path back? What must UVA do to get back in this game?
Execute. They have to execute right here. You see Johnson, right? Kamora Johnson coming up the middle, leaving a wide open lane. How well can they execute with urgency and taking care of the ball? That's going to be pivotal for Virginia in the second half. They have to take care of the ball.
Clark behind the back, very aggressive early on in this game. Lattimore down the alley. The layup just has too much muscle on it, and it takes a lot of effort to get the ball over Timpson. She's a disruptor. Through a maze, FSU scores. Timpson.
She's a disruptor, and she's always right in the perfect place at the perfect time. There in the middle of the paint, gets the 50-50 ball.
You said UVA needed to have some poise. Cavaliers don't have it on that possession. It's really just a bet from FSU, right? That the Noles will deal with the chaos better than their opponent, and they've shown it all year long.
Well, it's because they create the chaos in the best way possible. Florida State creates chaos for their opponents, but they are in control of it the entire time. You send 2 off of a ball screen when Kamora Johnson is coming off. Why? Because you know that she is aggressive coming off of ball screens, whether it's for a pull-up or getting all the way to the rim. It hurt the Seminoles last season, right? When Kamora Johnson went off for 35 points and was hot in the second half. So their strategy on her is going to remain. And Kamora Johnson tries to throw over the defense, which you got Timpson up there. You're not throwing over her.
No, you just can't.
No.
Here's Gordon at the line for FSU. 8 points in just 13 minutes. Had a couple of fouls in the first quarter, and 1 is good. And FSU is up by a whopping 25. And if those numbers are even duplicated in the second half, I think FSU is going to be quite fine with that.
Yeah, pressure. The pressure, it's on her, right? And it's from multiple people. and Coach Mox said that, you know, Kamora Johnson has seen so many different coverages, right? Like she's the quarterback of this team. So defenses will change what they're doing or what they're used to doing because of her ability to score and get downhill.
You know, we talked about all this chaos. Look how many bodies end up on the floor right here. 1, 2, 3. I think it ended up being like 5. You know, it reminds me so much of what Kim Caldwell is trying to do at Tennessee, right? Coming over from Marshall after 1 year there, winning the Sun Belt Championship, bringing that aggressive style of basketball. And there are just so many possessions within a game, and FSU trusts that it's going to make the right play most of the time, and the opponent, frankly, is not.
Yeah, you know, they're betting on themselves. They're saying that the odds are in their favor. You know, 9 times out of 10, Florida State says if we can be the first to the floor, if we can be, you know, pushing the ball down the lane, then we'll settle, right? If it doesn't go our way, but we're going to put ourselves in position to take that opportunity and make it worth something.
Last 6 to the Noles. Clark again going right to the basket.
And we're seeing this urgency. Coach talked about it. The urgency and execution, she said, is going to be the telltale sign of when her team is locked in. When they have this sense of urgency and decisiveness, Clark, last few times down the court when she gets the ball, she's getting into the lane. She's going north and south to either get a bucket or get herself to this free throw line for some freebies.
Second year with UVA, coming over from Arizona, has played pretty well of recent. This is our next gymnastics meet right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app Sunday afternoon. Number 24 Clemson squares off against number 23 North Carolina at Carmichael Arena in Chapel Hill. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern time. Tanaya Latson on the prowl. A line drive shot that time, and Johnson couldn't snare it, but they say it last touches the sub, Avery Treadwell.
Virginia ball here, Florida State 6-0 in less than 2 minutes in this quarter. Virginia's opportunity here to get a bucket, punch back. This is the time for Virginia to do that.
You could see Paris Clark, right, turning her finger there, and I'd imagine that's her saying, keep getting me the ball. Like, I'm feeling something here.
And we've seen that before. We've seen that version of Clark before, right? Usually it starts on defense, right? When she's picking balls out of the air and passing lanes, and then she's able to come down and get a few quick buckets. But she's feeling something in this half court, and you definitely want to feed her.
They get length on Johnson here with Snoop Turnage, really long arms, and Johnson is trying to get the ball away as Coach Mox takes a timeout. UVA dark, this stuff works.
Guru, right? There's a mission that this Florida State team has for this SOS defense. Coach Wyckoff said it. There's so many different variables that you can do in a game to make your opponent's job really hard offensively. But their mission, create turnovers, make the team take bad shots, push tempo, right? Their method, great on ball off a defense. They don't allow the ball to get to the middle through a drive. They ice ball screen, switch 1 through 5 a lot. And they're able to measure that through turnovers, or they're able to measure that through offensive possessions for Florida State. It's a very good equation.
And it took so much time to install this summer, right? They met with Bob Kloppenberg's son as another 3 is rained down here from Carla Villegas. And they got taught, right? I mean, they were students this summer. I joked with Coach Wyckoff, like, you're reading a chapter every night before bed, right? And she's like, yeah, that's kind of what it was.
Yeah, she showed us the book. There were highlighter markings in that book and of this SOS defense, because she said, while, yes, it takes a lot of work physically, right? We see how hard this Florida State team works defensively, but it also takes a lot of work mentally, a lot of reminding, a lot of understanding the mission so that you're locked in mentally before you go out and throw your body all around.
Right, and to further this a little bit more here, Lauren, you know, we asked Coach Wyckoff, because of this defensive system, are you changing your game plans all that much from game to game? And she said, yeah, not really. So they exercised a lot of that work in the offseason, so they can be pretty consistent in terms of what they do. And consistently, there is shot blocking from Timpson. Oh, my goodness.
Every time down the court, she is altering shots. Timpson having her way. So we talked about this SOS defense that Florida State has made their bread and butter, but let's take a closer look. This Virginia's team starting in this 4 high, but Kamora Johnson has no one to pass it to, has to pass it in at the free throw line, but there is help from who? None other than Timpson, KK Timpson, coming across the paint, and she's able to come that hard because there's another defender on the other side of her helping to defend her player.
Nearly had block number 7 right there. Just sparkling defensive numbers from FSU tonight. Amazing.
It's the pressure, it's the mindset that they're hunting for their offensive buckets while they're still playing defense. They're trying to figure out what they can do to get to the other end as fast as possible.
So Lauren, watching back that clip, if you're on the Virginia side, what's a better option to find a bucket there?
I mean, I think it's the assertiveness of your guards. I remember when I was playing, Coach Joanne Boyle always used to say, don't just stand there and expect that you're going to get the pass. You know, you have to move. You have to cut in and cut out. You know, in that play specifically, Kamora Johnson's left on an island trying to figure out who she can pass it to because guards are expecting the ball to come to them, right? And so being able to free your guards up with some motion, and they did that a little bit, but it wasn't there because they didn't get into their defense.
Doesn't it feel like FSU puts players into quicksand, right? They're just unsure for 1, 2, 3 seconds, and then all of a sudden the ball is recaptured by the Noles.
Yeah. And it happened, it's a split second, you guys. A split second to where there's an open option, and then it's gone.
Lattimore spinning, but no basket. And Villegas with the rebound. Here's Amaria Gordon. Doesn't have a layup, instead finds a 3 with Villegas. Rarely misses from three-point land. Here's Johnson ahead of the pack. Johnson, spin move through the wash. Earns 2 free throws.
Good take there for Kamora Johnson. We haven't seen it recently, but her ability to get down the lane, we know it's her strong suit. And Florida State had one player back on the floor in the other half of the court, and Kamora Johnson just takes the advantage.
Johnson still stuck on 6 points, 4 assists, has 5 turnovers in this game, 5 of the 16 for UVA, but she does have an opportunity to end FSU's 11-0 spurt right here. We're looking ahead to next Wednesday's ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader featuring #2 Duke. It starts with Stanford and Georgia Tech at 7 Eastern. Then it's Cooper Flagg and Con Knippel, and the Blue Devils hosting Andre Stojakovic and Cal at Cameron Indoor. 30-point Florida State lead, Lauren.
Yeah, beyond what they do defensively, offensively they're extremely efficient, right? They're 5th and 1. Goodness. It's demoralizing what they're able to do on both ends of the court, right? Because even if you are Virginia, we've seen them come knock down a shot, but on this end, it's hard to get a stop because you're going up against an athlete like Timpson who's able to rise above defenses and go through defenders and still finish with contact.
She had 21 points against Virginia a year ago. Tonight she's got 14, Timpson, 6 for 9 from the floor.
Yeah, Timpson, 1 of 5 Seminoles in double digits. To Virginia's only having 1 player in double digits with 10 points, and that's Paris Clark, who we haven't seen score much in this quarter.
Maybe she gets one here. Clark asserts herself to the rim, but too much English on it. Timpson with rebound number 7. Latson behind the back, drawing a crowd. Disrupted. It stays with the Noles. Tania Latson with 8 assists so far tonight, in addition to her 18 points and 5 rebounds. And her first career triple-double against Gonzaga in the Virgin Islands. Another 2.
Yeah, she was MVP of that tournament as well, I believe. And I mean, she just continues to surprise you each game, right? It's like you didn't watch what you just watched in the last game. She is who she is through and through. 20 points tonight, doing it on all ends, 8 assists. I mean, for a player who looks to score as much as she does, today's defense against this Virginia defense, at least, it has really left her teammates open and allowed her to drop some dimes.
Well, you said that Latson is the MVP of that Virgin Islands play. She might be the MVP of the entire Division I women's basketball season. I mean, here's the women's midseason Wooden Award watch list with names like Miles and Hidalgo, and everybody saw what Isaiah James did the other night against Duke, putting up 30+. It's a special group. Again, Latson leading the country in scoring. And I've been so impressed with the increased efficiency in her play from sophomore year to junior year.
Yeah, continues to raise the bar for herself. You know, she's had goals since day one, Coach Wyckoff talked about. And, you know, 3-point specifically was something that she said was Latson's doing, because she was tired of people saying that, oh, Latson's a great player, great athlete, can get to the basket. But, you know, shooting's not really her thing, and she's improved. What, 20-something last season to 46% from deep this season? You know, that speaks to the type of player that she wants to be, which is elite. You think about the other players we just saw on that graphic there. Hidalgo, a player who is self-driven, very similar to Latson, both leading the nation in scoring.
And Brooke Wyckoff was saying, you know, the great thing about coaching a player like Tanaya, she's not a diva at all. She works really hard. She said the most challenging part as a head coach, just making sure we make her life as easy as possible, because she'll see any defensive look a coach has in his or her bag.
Yeah. Yeah. She talks about wanting to just get to know her, right? Stay abreast with what's going on, because just as she is good on the court, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of voices off of the court. And so she says she checks in on her, makes sure, wants to know what's going on in her life, right? Because the crown is nice, but the pressure is very heavy as well for Latson. And so as a coach, Coach Wyckoff said that she saw her coach do it, and she wants to continue to follow in the steps of a great legend.
Yeah, it just seems like such a happy environment that they're fostering right now. Being at their shoot-around this morning, everybody has smiles on their faces. They do, at the end of shoot-around, like a creative shot, right? So someone on the team comes up with, all right, what are we going to do today? Today it was like an underhanded shot from midcourt, and they celebrated whoever made it first. Tanaya Latson shrugging the shoulders like, this is just so easy right now.
She is laughing. She's having a great time. And if you're not having fun, then what are you doing? She takes the ball all the way down the court, trips it up a little bit behind her back, and just crisscrosses her way into the paint.
You know, that goes on the highlight reel because it was imperfect. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it wasn't the most smooth play up the court. She bobbles it, but she's always just so smooth, despite the fact that it wasn't in her grasp the whole time.
You know, she knows what she's capable of. She knows she can get it back.
Just remarkable stuff. Clark, foul. 2 shots.
Doesn't always have to be pretty, right?
Oopsie.
She's not perfect. But she can make some diamonds under pressure, I tell you.
Is there an extra spot on the Harlem Globetrotters, maybe? I'll tell you what, Lauren, this place is just stunned at what they're seeing tonight. And you go back to last season, the system was different for FSU. They changed things up, right? And FSU a year ago lost to Virginia. It was the Cavaliers' first of 4 ranked victories, a pivotal win for them at that juncture of the season. And FSU came into tonight with a mission, remaining consistent with what they do. And it is just an overwhelming deficit for the Cavs right now.
Yeah, that was a loss last season that no one's ever really proud of a loss, right? But the way that Coach Wyckoff said that her team responded in regards to that loss tells you what they're trying to build, which is championship team. Meaning you have to respond against adversity in game and not wait for opportunity for the next game, because every given night, and the conference just gets stronger and stronger, better and better every year. Yeah, and Florida State has cemented that they are going to be up there top.
Yeah, and they want to make a big run into March, right? I mean, you go back over the last handful of years, they have made the NCAA tournament 11 straight times, but they haven't won a game in the Big Dance since 2019. So there's motivation certainly for that. And with this veteran-laden group, with the players that have been here and also via the transfer portal, I think there's a good chance that they'll be playing on that second weekend and maybe beyond that.
Which is awesome. I mean, you think about it. There aren't many programs right now that top 3 scorers have been at the program since day 1. And then they get transfers like Malaya, who just knocked down that 3, who's able to score at all 3 levels and also defend within the system that Coach Wyckoff is coaching her team up to be. You know, it's the pieces of the puzzle coming together, but it's all based on this mission of playing fast, getting defensive stops, and putting her players in the best position to be successful at what they do.
All right, for the second time today, FSU putting its foot on the brakes a little bit. Not the whole extent. Kick it out, 3, Gordon swish. FSU 8 for 19 from beyond the arc.
They're slowing down, but they're not gonna stop knocking down those big shots. They play with the mindset that they're winning each possession.
We're done with 3. FSU totals 34 in the third quarter, outscoring. Yeah, after seeing a lot of the pictures and video, after what has happened in California, anything that people can give, very much appreciated.
Yeah, community has definitely been rallying around those who have been impacted by all that has happened.
Natasha Lattimore with the first basket here in the fourth quarter after FSU outscored UVA 34-12 in the third to get a 40-point lead going into the fourth.
All in the paint. Seminoles 46 in the paint, and a lot of it's come from their bench as well. 2 players off the bench with double digits, and Gordon and Bonner.
And here's Lattimore running the floor and laying it in. So Natasha Lattimore waking up a bit here in the fourth quarter, has 4 of her 8.
Virginia picking up pace here. We see a new defense in this 3-2, but it doesn't stop a FSU drive.
That is Snoop Turnage, who was one of the best nicknames in college basketball. We were told that Brianna's coach growing up called her Snoop, so that's why she still goes by that nickname. Here's Brianna Hurd.
Basket. Brianna Hurd got cut off trying to go to the left hand, and she's able to spin into the lane.
3 ball, Bonner. And that's her first miss tonight. Started 5 for 5. Well, Lauren, you never know with these things, so I'm just going to point it out. Single game record for Florida State in scoring, 119. They've done that twice this season against North Florida and NC Central.
Ooh.
119.
I mean, they're more than capable between the amount of threes that they've put up today alone, and 20, right? They're 8 for 20. They're more than capable of knocking down big shots, we know, and a lot of them.
All right, what's different about UVA's offense here in the fourth quarter, getting going here?
Decisive. That's the word of the night. When Virginia knows what they want to do offensively, they can get things going, right? And then they're just able to knock down shots. I think when they're moving with intention, this Florida State defense is moving. You know, they're able to knock down shots with a hand in their face. It's confidence, it's urgency, it's a mentality.
It just feels like right now, as Hurd is fouled, the Cavaliers are playing with the mindset of, all right, we've got nothing to lose here, trailing by a whole bunch going into the fourth quarter. Let's just kind of play our game here.
Yeah, and I think that when I say mindset, right, for the people at home, you know, the mindset coming into this game is we're going to do what we do. We know Coach Mox. You know, when we talk to her before each game, she's very keen on this is what my team does and this is what we're going to do, right? But each possession presents an opportunity. And I think that's what we see differently in Virginia at this moment is that, okay, there's an opportunity to go get a bucket because we're down as many as we are. We have less than 8 minutes, right? And so it's time to turn on the gas pedal. And so it's the perception and reality of like, yeah, we have nothing to lose. But, you know, when it was 0-0, what was there to lose against the number 22 team in the country, you know?
Yeah, and I think for a lot of Cavaliers fans, it's been a very, I don't want to say frustrating season, but a season where you're wondering, like, what if, right? Like, what if you come out with a really good start? What if you finish the game well? They've had a lot of leads that have been crumbled down, they lose, or they come back from big deficits and nearly win, but just don't make that play down the stretch. And look, the opportunities for UVA down the stretch, they're running thin in terms of quad one opportunities. This was one tonight. They got to get cooking here down the stretch of the season.
Big shot there for Kamora Johnson from deep, but you said it. What opportunity are you going to take, right? You can't just think that you're going to steal something. You have to take it. You have to come in with a mindset that you're going to do it. And you saw there's one opportunity for a quad one win, but there are a lot of great teams in this conference, and anything can change on any given night.
And it starts with a rivalry game coming up on Sunday against Tech. Paris Clark with a scream as she gets the and one.
The fight that we've seen in Clark since the third quarter. She's been going north and south, and here going downhill, gets a small in and out right past Turnage. Turnage not happy with the foul, but Clark says, I'll take it.
She is very slippery when she's going downhill. Very tough to figure out defensively which side of the basket she's going towards.
Yeah, she's really shifty there. She can make decision in a split second. Also, when she's in the air, you know, she likes to do that double pump sometimes and throw defenders off.
She's now 3 points shy of matching her career high. 19 points, has done that twice. So here are the Cavaliers in their 3-2 defense. They use this a lot in non-conference play, not as much in ACC play. Oh, nice fake layup. Not there that time for Gordon. And Lattimore with the rebound. Johnson, a hezzy move. Funnels in the lane, not even looking at the basket. Couldn't score. And there is Timpson for the easy rebound, her 8th.
Seminoles not slowing down here.
Lattimore with the block on Latson. Brianna Hurd bustles the other way and has the layup. FSU only scoring 4 here in the 4th, and UVA has 17.
8-0 run for the Cavaliers in about 1 minute and 7 seconds, just picking up the pace.
Latson hanging, can't get the deuce. Lattimore bats it out to Olivia McGee. This is certainly something to build on for UVA moving forward with the game out of reach, you'd think. Hurd around the screen, dips inside. Oh my goodness! A termination from Timpson, come on!
Racking them up with her 8th block on the night. My goodness.
That ties her career high.
Tying her career high with 8 blocks and just swats down. A lot of players don't want to swat down for a foul, but she gives herself enough space to swat down and pick up another block on the night.
She's nearly got a triple-double with blocks. Think about that.
Insane. 18 points, 7 of 10 from the floor. 8 rebounds, 8 blocks. What a line.
I think she put in a full night shift tonight.
You talk about someone who's been here from the beginning, has been able to see her progress from year to year as a sophomore, or after her sophomore year, she was able to receive an award, right, for her improvement, most improved player. And, you know, she's able to just continue to grind it out. She's going up against some of the best bigs in the nation in the ACC, and you've been able to see her growth. It's something that Coach Wyckoff is really proud of.
25 now for Latson. Along with 10 assists, she has a double-double. That's her 4th of her career. And going back to Timpson, she may not even finish with a double-double tonight if her evening is finished. This might be her best performance in her career that doesn't end up in a double-double. Latson always with her head up. In and out move, swimming by Lattimore, and then Hurd with a rejection, may have been altered as well by Lattimore. Johnson fakes, scoop shot reverse, out of control. Clark, the rebound goes up, stuffed inside, Treadwell.
Everyone wants some of the block party for this FSU team.
And everybody wants offense. That's clear.
Just when Virginia speeds up their game, this FSU team answers time and time again. Not slowing down FSU here in JPJ tonight. And Latson combined on most nights for 43 points per game. That's something that no team has been able to solve the problem for.
And you know what, looking at all those blocks for Timpson, right, they're not just like tip blocks, right? Like, they're emphatic spanks. Like, don't come in here at all. Don't think about it. And if you can hit the three-point shot, that'll help get the ball away from the shot blocker as a three is rained down from Brianna Hurd. A rare turnover for FSU, just the 7th tonight. Clark. And another shot blocking threat there, Makayla Williams. She's no slouch. She had 100 blocks in 3 seasons with Cincinnati before coming to FSU. Finished 6th in program history.
Yeah, she's 6'4", lanky, can jump, extremely good agility-wise, and she's been a great partner, post partner there for Timpson. You know, when they're in the game together, which they started the game today, they're able to go high-low. They're able to switch off of each other's post players when they're screening for one another. Extremely flexible with this defense.
And Williams missed 9 games earlier this season, and you know, FSU certainly feels that, you know, they're better obviously with Williams in there, but they're a much better rebounding team as well. All right, here's the slingshot. Villegas on the money.
One of their best three-point shooters comes in, lines one up from the corner. Seminoles do a really good job in transition, sending a shooter to the corner.
Here's Latson. Oh, a no-look dish in the corner. Dos Santos, give her 3.
Heating up this FSU team. Two shooters. Latson had 2 options there on who she wanted to go to. And it didn't matter. Both shooters ready to go, locked and loaded. Look at this one. When it goes to Villegas on that first high arching shot above her head, no one can get to it.
Just an incredible release. So, Lauren, this is interesting. Coming into tonight, Carla Villegas has taken 222 shots in her career. 210 of them are from 3. Only 4 of your 958 were from 3.
You guys are hilarious.
Come on,
you guys are hilarious.
I'm
sorry. You know, it was when was this? 2018 when I finished. So, you know, we wasn't shooting out like that. That's crazy. That picture also isn't the best. I'm so upset at our producer. That was my freshman year, guys. Cut a girl some slack.
Then I will not tell you how many of those 3-point shots you made out of those 4.
I'm pretty sure Coach Corey McNeil was shooting me some sharp eyes back then with those 3s.
Oh my goodness. All right, FSU on the verge of hitting triple digits for the 7th time this season, already a program record. Latson still in the game, squeezing by 3, and FSU can get to triple digits at the line with Makayla Williams. Latson 27 points, 12 assists. It's a career high in assists tonight for Tanaya.
Tanaya Latson checking out of this game. 27 points on the night, 11 of 25 from the floor, double-double with 12 assists. Was everything and some for the Seminoles tonight.
And there it is, and a mini celebration on that FSU bench. 7 100-plus point games this season. So what really stands out to me, and Lauren, look, you could go on a bingo card of accolades for FSU's offense this season and try to pick some out. If the season were to end prior to tonight, with FSU scoring 92.5 points per game, that would be the 8th best scoring offense in the history of Division I women's basketball.
Insane. Insane. You talk about a system working? I mean, they literally are putting together the pieces of a puzzle to make sure that they are a scoring machine.
And to put it into further perspective here, Iowa last season, you know, with that player named Caitlin Clark running the show, scored fewer points per game than this FSU team does. Think about that.
Yeah. You know, we talked about just the amazement that a lot of the fans, a tough bucket there by McGee, crossing it up for the 3-pointer. But we talk about the amazement that UVA fans have been in watching this game. complete, spectacle of what this FSU team does such a good job of. And, we've been in amazement all week trying to figure out how they are as good as they are. And you have to take your hat off to Coach Wyckoff. She has talked about studying defenses, implementing a defense in the summer. And we all know in the summertime, especially if you have international players, they're coming and they're going. Classes are different, different times. And you're also not always working out with every single person. And so for her to be able to implement this system and to pay its dividends as it is amazing.
Yeah, it can get humid down in Tallahassee in the summer, so why would you want to spend it outside, right? Like, stay inside, read some books, and that's what this FSU team did. And again, we hear it all the time, right? Like, defense leads to offense, and it gets repetitive, but it's really true about this team.
Yeah, but it also helps that you can see it. You can see the difference that it is making.
Florida State with its 7th 100-plus point game of the season. And the Seminoles continue to put not only the ACC, but the nation on notice. 27-12 for Latson.